Now, defensively, it'll be interesting to see what Bill Lewis's concept will be. Georgia has been traditionally a blitzing team, but since the Memphis State game, Kevin Harris's interception, which set up the touchdown that won that game, since then, Georgia's only had one turnover, and it's really bugging Bill Lewis and the defensive coaches. So it'll be interesting to see whether the defense plays a more conservative game in terms of blitzing.
Notably absent big plays on both the offense and the defense, especially over the last 4 ball games.
Since the flu hit us, Gary, on Thursday, and 10 guys went down, they have recovered, though Kevin was whiter in a sheet this morning. I'm a little concerned. Again, I keep bringing up the depth thing. I hope we don't have to throw some kids in there today that we were trying to redshirt. I'm very much concerned about that. Now, get the picture. Florida State in a maroon and gold situation. They call it garnet, I understand, but it's a maroon top, gold pants, gold helmets, and white numbers, and the dogs in white tops with the black numbers and the red helmets, of course, and the silver breeches. And Barry Barker will be kicking off for Florida State. George will be looking up into a sun that's probably, if you're sitting in it, 117 degrees. The dogs will be in white, and we will be receiving with Lane and Tron Jackson as the deep men. Louis Phillips, spotter with us, Larry Munson, Gary Glenn, Lawrence Smith, Rick Shaw here, you, Christian here, and a great place for a bowl game. Barco kick, sailing flat, spinning ball, end over end. Lane caught it deep and is going to down that thing in the end zone, and Georgia will have to come out and put it in play on the 20. Florida State only 8 yards away from a touchdown. They're 2nd down and 6. Thomas to the tail. He fumbled the ball, and everybody's diving on the 10.5, but he may have recovered. Georgia says they've got it. The first man in landed on it. Who is it? On the bottom of the pile, Henry Harris, I think. Henry Harris was the guy that got his arm on it. Thomas's pitch is fumbled by the tail. Andy Loy, the defensive end, was with Henry Harris. Loy may have put his arm on it first. Florida State has fumbled away a heck of an opportunity here, and it's going to be Georgia's ball around their own 11-yard line. Dogs walk up to the line. Big Keith Johnson still trying to play at center. Florida State's in a 5-3 now. We have big slot wide to the left side. Todd goes to the tail, driving up a 10-20 yard. We got Lars Tate breaking the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. They'll drive him out of bounds around the 40 on the other side. We had a hole on the right side, and Lars Tate, one of the freshmen out of Indiana, really flew. Mayhew, a quarterback, Eric Williams, the 2 cornerbacks caught him. But Lars Tate just suddenly got 49 yards just outside the Florida State 40. And Georgia has struck back with the same type of thing. Lauren? Messer going to snap. Harrell's going to hold. Butler's going to try one. Ball being held out in the 37 on 4th down and 14. And Butler sticks it up, and we're watching it. It is no good. It's off to the left a little. Butler missed it, and the virus has got something. Got close. Joe Wessel got close. The kick blocker didn't get it. Georgia's missed the field goal attempt, and I don't know how much that has to do with the flu or not. You can only guess on that. Thanks. Florida State. Now, remember when they had the ball, that first time they came down 90, 92 yards, just zip, zip, just like that. Dogs in a little offset 4-man line. Florida State 2 wideouts here in an eye. Eric Thomas underneath. Thomas faked the trap. He's back to throw, and he's going with a long bomb down the left side, and Kevin Harris up the fight and intercepted on the 21 or the 22. Took it away from Carlton Scott. Kevin Harris from Eustis, Florida, intercepted that long one intended for the flanker, and the Dogs get the ball back right away. Gary, that might really help.
I'll tell you what, and he had absolutely perfect position on the ball and on the receiver. He was right in front of him, and he really made that play happen. Just came up and took it away from the receiver, but he read it absolutely perfectly.
Johnson with that back brace is still out there on the field. This guy not in any shape whatsoever, but he's still there. He got hurt this week in the scrimmage. Dogs breaking out of the huddle, Lane to one side and Archie to the other. And little James Jackson's the quarterback. Florida State, 5 men on the line. We're in an eye. We're on our own 45. He fakes. He's back to the right and looks. Stops. He's going with a long bomb intended for Fred Lane. Complete to the 10, the 5. They got him on the 5. He hit Fred Lane deep. Little James Jackson uncorked the arm and threw a bomb, and Lane was 7 inches ahead of Eric Williams, the cornerback, and caught it over his shoulder, and it'll be 1st and goal to go on the 5. the little kid from Camillo threw a bomb. Lauren?
Larry, before the play there, during timeout, they called Jackson over the sideline. They call that play. They call it the waggle. Coach Charlie Whittemore says to him, take your time, plant your feet, and throw it, and he did.
Well, he figures he stop us one more play and make us go for 3. He's got to be thinking that way. Warren and I, now he puts 2 wideouts on the left. Try to split that 8-man line out, and we run Tate. Tate driving, touchdown! Lars Tate really got hit on the 1-yard line and kept his legs going, and the big freshman got in there. Jones, the linebacker, hit him. Martin Mayhew, the cornerback, hit him. And Tate got it in there, and the Dogs lead 6-0. Boy, he had to keep his legs going, and he got racked pretty good. We had the hole there for him, Gary.
Yeah, Tate is the leading rusher in the ball game right now. He has got about 55 yards on the day. Of course, 49 of that came at one clip, if you remember.
That's right. He had that long run early. Butler to try, extra point. Florida State's got 8 men on the line. Russell lined up. He wants to jump in and again try one of his specialties. We set it down, and Butler sticks it up in there, and the kick is good. Georgia leading 7-0. Late in a half, Florida State there. Thomas dropping back, looking, and going to throw, and it is intercepted by Kevin Harris on the 30. Kevin Harris fighting to the 20. They knock him out around the 14. We had 3 men covering a side screen. Eric Thomas got knocked down. Thomas was a guy who then came across and bounced him out. We had a guy chasing Thomas. He dumped it late, coming out to his left. Georgia's got the ball on the 13. Warren. Second down, about 1.5 yards for a touchdown. Florida State right there, 11 points down. Power eye, nobody split out. One of the tight ends goes in motion. So they pitch it to Tony Smith. There's a big hole. We hit him on the goal line, but he scored. Dogs met him right on the line. And I mean, that is a beat-up, tired defense out there. Florida State had the ball most of the third quarter. And now they've only scored 9 points with it, however. 14-9. 14-21. Yeah, they might, Louis. They might go for 2. Boy, that defense is... You realize we lost Kenny Sims immediately today, and we had already lost Boswell, a linebacker, before the game. Cedric Jones come in at the full. Yeah, they're going to go for 2, I think, the way they're acting. Because they're 5 down, they want to get it to within 3. So they'll have Smith and Cedric Jones. He's a kid from Valdosta we tried to recruit 3-4 years ago. He's a senior 4 years ago. And he keeps it. Thomas starts in, and the Dogs hit him on the 3-yard line. He didn't make it. Thomas faked to the full, try to run a keeper and get 2 points, and they did not make it when they went for 2. So it's 14-9. 14-21 on this clock. 14-9. Georgia by 5. Tron Jackson now the tail. Hockaday has just come back in. 5-point lead, led 14 at the half. Had a little luck today, but had some bad luck on injuries. Slot left, Florida State. Jackson fakes, sprints right, looking, gonna throw, and complete to Scott Williams on the 47, the 45, the 40. Down the sideline, he stepped down in the 33. He hits Scott Williams down that right sideline. Brian McCrary, the wide safety, bumped him out between the 30 and the 35. From the Dogs' 30 after the penalty on the kickoff, very quickly we have 36 yards on a pass play just across the 34. And little James Jackson, as he rolled right, he looped to the right about 8 yards behind the line.
It was a good read by Jackson and a good catch by Williams. Scotty Williams, of course, has played about 5,000 positions at the game to Georgia.
Yeah, that's 4th down 6.
Just as he caught it and spun around, the 2 defenders came up to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, they got speed on that defense, haven't they? 4th down, very big field goal attempt here. Need the points desperately. Clock is broken, nothing to watch here. I'm guessing 11 and a half minutes. It's that early, 14-9, 4th quarter. Florida State, 8 men on the line. Harrell's going to hold it. Butler's going to try it, and they set it down, and the kick gets up in the air, and the flag down. They hit the kicker. The kick is good. He knocked Kevin Butler down, who's very slow up. The kick is good, and there's a penalty on it now, so take a look and see. Now watch this penalty now. We may not take this thing. Let's check the penalty, check the length of the penalty. We could have a 15-yarder or a half the distance. Lauren?
Larry, I'm sure that it would be a first down, but I'm seeing the coaches talk to Coach Dooley. He's got both hands raised in the air. He knows the percentage play is to keep the points on the board and put Florida State in a position to where they've got to score and go for 2 to win this ball game. Now, of course, they score more than once, so they've got to do that at least once and go for 2 to win it.
So we've turned a penalty down. We'll take the field goal, and it's 17-9. Third down and 13. Florida State on the Dogs 40, and Florida State is 8 points down. And now Hester's wide to the left. Hassan Jones to the right. Thomas going to take it. Fakes a trap. He's back. One man grabs at him, pulls him down. Is that Henry Harris on the 49? No, it was Jake Richardson of Smyrna who crawled on his hands and knees the last 4.5 yards and pulled him down back on the 49. A big 9-yard loss. It's just inside the 49. Jake Richardson of Smyrna. Fourth down and 6.5, and Chip Andrews standing back here in a punting situation. Florida State, 10 men on the line. They're going to come at him again. The snap is all right. They all come in and they got it. There it is. They blocked it over the 20, over the 15, and it's picked up, and there goes Wessel with a touchdown. They got it. They came right up the middle with a man on each flank, and they did what they said they do to everybody in the world, and they did it there. They came up the middle suddenly. Wessel picked it up 30 yards behind the kicker. We took a penalty to get a good place to kick from, and now you're 17-15 and a very, very big 2-pointer. They got in there. Now this year we've had some people close to getting one up the middle, but with the speed they had about 3 guys in there at least.
You know, and this does a couple of things for Florida State. First of all, it gives them momentum. It jacks them up a little bit. Second of all, no time ran off the clock for any kind of a drive at all, really. They take it on in for the quick 6. Now we'll see if they can tie it with the 2-point conversion attempt.
Dogs have fought grimly all day. Florida State goes for 2 tight ends, 1 wide out. Thomas going to run an end-around reverse. He's got a man coming wide, and 1 man missed the tackle. There it is. Tie ball game. Darren Holloman came wide. He had a blocker on a rover back on the 4-yard line. The rover couldn't disengage himself, and the secondary didn't get there, and now the stadium is blocked, and all the momentum and everything is gone the other way. 17-17 on a block punt and a 2-point play. Timeout, 60-second local break from the Georgia Bulldog Network. We are acting like we're going to go for it. Well, 17-17.
After they blew up through the line that last time, came right straight up the middle. Maybe that's the thinking.
Fourth down.
Gamble.
Georgia's going to gamble. They need a yard. It's a short yard. It's not a full yard. It's fourth down and about 2 feet or 2.5. Power eye, and they fumble behind the line. Oh, but there's a flag down in the play. Wait a minute. There's a flag down behind the secondary defense. That is behind the linebackers. Georgia fumbled the handoff. Now they say the penalties on Georgia apparently delay a game. So Florida State's got the ball and very close to scoring again.
Well, as I guess it was Smith coming through, Paul Boyd coming through the line, and he just got a jump, and when James Jackson turned around, there he was. He bumped into him, and the ball just fell on the ground.
Lauren, what do you got?
Well, there was a collision. He ran into one of his linemen, you know, and it was a 4th down gamble. Georgia's had a lot of those this year. The only thing I can say, Jay, is Coach Dooley's team has fought so hard, played so well that he wanted to give them a chance to win this football game.
We take a penalty, and Florida State had not lined up, and we were about to kick. And the Georgia bench is furious with the officials because Florida State wasn't ready. The Dogs had a penalty on the play. It was 4th down and 5.5.
Well, apparently they had to take the penalty, so that gave Georgia another chance at it.
That put us back to 4th down and about 6.
Total confusion.
Yeah,
the officials have lost control of the game right now.
They really have. Dooley's out on the field a little bit now, and now Dooley wants to know what's happening. Lauren?
Well, there is mass confusion down there. I was so confused, I thought that was 4th down, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, it was 4th down when they went for it on 4th down, but the penalty apparently had already taken place, and they forced Florida State to take the penalty and not to play.
Yeah.
So that gave them 4th down again.
Yeah. Delay of the game penalty had occurred before we fumbled a handoff, and Florida State ran off thinking they had the ball. We thought so up here, and then we lined up then again with nobody else in the field. We were going to kick with just looking down the field. Lauren?
Down.
4th down, 5.5. We gambled and failed, but the penalty shoved us back 5. We get another shot to punt now this time. Now they'll line up. Florida State this time only 8 men on the line. Wessel's out there on the corner. They're stacked a little bit in the middle. And the snap is all right, and Chip Andrews kicks. Good high spiral, lazy. Holloman going to take it on the 33, and we really hit him and knocked him back to the 30.
He never saw those guys.
No, they really hit him.
He had his head down and when he caught the ball.
Well, Florida State, however, after a 42-yard kick, has got 2 minutes to come down the field.
Well, we're talking about a wild finish and no clock, and here we are.
And I don't know the time. It's hard to tell. Well, Louis thinks maybe 2 minutes now. But the clock is running, so it's less than 2 minutes. 17-17 tie. Florida State 2 wide outs. Thomas fakes. A man hit him, and he pitched it to another. And Greg Waters ran in there, got him way back on the 9-yard line. They went to the flanker, Jesse Hester. But we hit the quarterback, and then Greg Waters, a swing sparrow, just flew in there about 20 yards behind the line and got Hester. They will down it on the 10, 16 yards behind the line, and it is now 4th down and long yardage, and there might be a minute and 30 or something, I don't know, but they really downed it on the Florida State 49 and a half. 17-17. It is incredible with what has happened to this team today, injury-wise and illness before that we're in this thing. They have really played well. Tie ball game.
I'm sure Butler's thinking about that field goal he missed very early in the game now, and if it comes down to it, he would love to get a chance to redeem himself.
17-17. Oh, yeah. Jackson better watch the clock. That's right, Louis. He's not looking at that 25-second clock. He's going to get it off. And we try to run Tron in a hole, but one man tripped him. We tried to run Tron in at left tackle. Got a couple of yards. The clock now just... The dogs are already up to the line. He got the 1.5 yards to the 48. It's 2nd down and 8.5. We've already lined up again against the 4-3. And Jackson back to throw. Over the middle. And Hockaday off his hand. Florida State interception. Joe Wessel. A perfect pass thrown by Little Jackson off Hockaday's hand to the defender behind him, and Florida State got the ball back on their own 25. He threw it real hard, I think, but Hockaday had both hands touched the ball.
And Hockaday never drops the ball. I mean, he has got probably the surest hands on the team.
That's the reputation. He dropped one early, I think, late in the year maybe, but you're right. Florida State now in the closing seconds are on their own 25, and here we are trying to hang on again. And Thomas going to throw, and we chase him. He runs out to the right. He fires, and we drop an interception wide open on the 31, Andy Lloyd. Right in his hands, he dropped the ball. Intended for Pat Carter, the tight end. I don't believe in this. I'm probably giving the engineer Rick Shaw a pitch here. You see, we have no clock. Louis tells me 40 seconds. But Louis been dressed like the French Foreign Legion all day. He don't know what time it is. 40 seconds, 2nd down. Florida State 75 yards away from victory. 17-17. Holy smokes, Lloyd was out there around the 32 or 3 over near one side, right off his hand. We're in a 4-3 setup, and they fake a trap. And Thomas going to fire down the middle too high. Almost intercepted behind the receiver on our 45. Jennifer Hassan Jones, he overthrew him. 17-17 tie. I'll guarantee you one thing. This stadium is rocking. You think I'm rocking, you ought to see the stadium. 17-17 tie. Florida State's 3rd down on their 25. They may just try and go for a 10 or 15 yarder and get the 1st down and another shot, but of course the clock's involved. Remember now, they have no clock to look at. Lauren?
30 seconds left, Larry, I think. Maybe 28. Now the official says 28, and that's what the public address man says. 28 seconds left.
28 seconds. 3 wide out to the left and 1 on the right. And we reach for him, and we got him. Somebody got him. Somebody else slowed him down. Greg Waters slowed him down back in the 15, and then Donald Chumley got him. 4th down. 10-yard loss, and from 28 seconds, and that clock is running. Now Florida State, I think, has called time to stop it, so there's probably about 20 seconds. 17-17. Some members of the defense sagged down on their knees. You talk about trying to play with no depth. As we finish the year, as you know, that way, but the day was worse than ever before. Chumley slowly now coming up. 4th down, and they're back on the 15. The defense has twice in the last minute and a half or two come up to put them down, and deep losses down here. There's no time now. It's 4th down and long yardage again, though this time there's only 20. Bill Lewis hollered something at Jimmy Harrell, our deep man. He called him on the sideline to talk to him. Lewis Berry, their punter's in there again. Lauren, what do you got?
Got a situation here where they're trying to figure out what to do with the time left. So I think the decision is for Jimmy Harrell to get the ball and try to come to the sideline and kill the clock. Now, that might give Georgia a chance for at least one play, maybe a first down kind of play, and maybe that field goal opportunity is still there.
21 seconds. Lewis Berry on his 1-yard line to punt. And he kicks, good spiral. Jimmy Harrell, fair catch, but on our 46, and there's not much time now. I'm saying 16, 17 seconds. Again, Butler's sick, pale as a ghost. I talked to him very briefly early this morning. What do you got, Lauren?
I think if Georgia can get a couple of passes off, you see they got one timeout left, so they can kill the clock. So what they got to have now is get some yardage and then stop the clock and kick the field goal.
We're 54 yards away from it, and there's no time. No time. You have to complete this pass. You got to complete a pass.
Yeah, and get out of bounds or call a timeout immediately.
Florida State's in a 4. 17-17 tie. We split 2 men out, 1 wide, 1 short. And little Jackson comes back, and he's going down, and there's Cassius Osborne, and we missed him open down there around the 20. He was breaking open down the right side, and a little kid from Camilla missed it. I guess we got 10, 12 seconds now. Not much. 17-17 tie. I'll tell you one thing, the Dogs have really given this thing a shot with no manpower. Lauren?
There definitely is one timeout left. We just checked with the officials. So here again, we're down to needing a completion with some yards and then a chance to kick it.
Well, Osborne was open. There's no doubt about it that last time.
John Jackson didn't know if he should be on the field or not, so he turned and sprinted off. We have 3 men out wide to the left side, and we're going to try to go Hail Mary down there with all the receivers, and it's incomplete on the 15. We threw it long down the left side. We had 3 men streaking down there, and Jackson had to hurry because off his left arm a guy was trying to fight loose on a blocker. Now you're 3rd down. Who would have thought we'd be in a tie with these guys, all the points they score, and that we would be the club trying to stagger out and steal a victory at the end. 11 seconds, Louis Phillips tells me.
And they've got 243 yards of total offense for the game. That's about 200 yards less than what they average. Georgia leads 361.
5 seconds now. Louis keeps changing the time. 5 seconds. The Dogs... Oh, no. Butler's going to try a 64-yarder, but Butler's going to try to kick it 100 million miles. And he sticks along. It's going to be short eye. Oh. Yeah, right underneath the bar. Butler went for a 64-yarder with 5 seconds to go. And that should end it, and I think it does. Yes, it does. The players mill around a little. The ball game is over. Holy smokes, Butler came within a few feet of doing that. And this has been a tremendous tie. You may not like a tie, but you got to realize that like we did the whole last month, we didn't have any people. Today we had less people than ever before. And they wound up 17-17. From the looks of the fireworks, they're trying to shoot down the blimp. This was a great, great Citrus Bowl, and the 2 teams are together now. Man, Butler really got close to that thing. And I wonder what I would have said if it had gone through. Or it hit the bar and bounced funny. 17-17 tie, Gary. They can be proud of the tie, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, and they really played hard and played well when they had to, and with a patchwork lineup, there's no doubt about it.
Take the punt out of there, and who knows?
Yeah, and if Butler hadn't been sick, leg a little bit.
That's right. 60-second local break now on the Georgia Bulldog Network.